So I asked you guys, girls, non-bines, to pick what my next video would be about. Now, unfortunately for me, it was actually a tie on the poll. So I have got a 10p coin. Let's try and decide. So heads shall be how to spot a scam, and tails shall be what is reality. So let's see. So it's on tails. So how to spot a scam shall be my next video. This one shall be about what is reality. So if you've caught any of my previous videos, like I do go off on tangents. I question a lot of spiritualism and I guess like mindset kind of discussions and all that thing. So I'm completely unprepared now. I should have prepared notes for both, but you know, with all things in life, just wing it. The idea for the video came about from a late night reading session into various mental health disorders and also into various spiritual beliefs. So yeah, I'm always on that quest for knowledge and learning, keeping my brain active. That's kind of how I exercise my brain. I know a lot of people might do brain games or games that train the brain or other different exercises for the brain. Mine is very much that thing of asking questions and then trying to find the answers, whether that's like internally or like from external sources. I was reading about various disorders that kind of cross over into like spiritual territory almost, and it kind of unnerved me a little bit because I do consider myself like a really spiritual person. I'm also very rational. I always try and find a rational answer. So I'm not necessarily trying to debunk anything that I believe in, but I'm also aware of like the reality that I am interacting within. I mean, it's disconcerting to really kind of think about, because who has said what is right and what is wrong and what's considered like real and what's not? It's my conclusion of it all. We all have, or rather we're all operating in different realities. Break it down into layman terms, so it all boils down to perception, and my perception is completely different to everyone that isn't me, and likewise, you know, every single person out there has a different perception to you. They are operating in their own realities. I mean, there's no point trying to question why we're here. You know, we're all here. We're all sharing this world, this reality. You know, there's a bigger reality and then there's a smaller reality, because I have to break it down. For me to really resonate with something, I have to kind of find the duality, the conflict, the kind of complementing conflict. There's always like two sides of a coin. I did not prepare this prop for this video, but there are, you know, there's the bigger and then there's the smaller, but it's both sides of the coin. That was planned, you know, I'm that smooth. We're lucky in a sense that like our realities, our lives and things do cross over into each other, and you're really lucky if you can find someone who has a shared aspect of your reality. So it might boil down to art or like music or like work, you know, we do share certain aspects of our reality with each other. But in the grander scheme of things, the best way to look at it is almost like the spider web. I was actually having this conversation with my mom this week about it all. So the spider web, we're all on the spider web, but there's little kind of tenures where it's knotted on the web. That's kind of where our paths kind of cross. But all of our realities play a hand in the bigger reality. So I know how all of it sounds. I also know there's some sense within it. I'm just not great at like explaining myself at times. But yeah, it's important to have that kind of awareness that we are all operating in our own individual realities, and we all have our own unique perception of various things. And you know, if we boiled it down, like no one actually has the right view of the world. I was actually reading into schizophrenia and how an individual can believe that they have hallucinations and their world view is a bit skewed, you know, they might be paranoid and things. But that can be a real thing for that person. It's down to that person's perception. Spirituality really needs a deeper look, and possibly like an open-minded view as well. It becomes a problem when it's causing harm to the individual or like to other people. I think that's kind of when to diagnose someone with a certain disorder. But you know, I'm from my spiritual side now. I don't want to try and convince anyone. I'm always trying to lay out the two sides of the coin kind of like viewpoint, because I'm aware that my view might be opposed to someone else's, you know, and also it boils down to my personal spiritual belief. You know, gnosis, you don't force your beliefs on anyone. There is that level of self-awareness with gnosis. You know, it's very much an individual path to explore and things. So you're very much aware that your path is your path and someone else's path is their path. So yeah, it kind of makes everything a bit more easier to understand, at least in my opinion it does. I think to better navigate this world, it's better to realise that we are all individual and there's no ultimate right or wrong. Morally speaking, of course there is, you know, if you're inflicting harm on other people, that is wrong. And if you're inflicting harm on yourself, that is wrong. So I very much believe in like the ancient teachings where, you know, do as thou wilt, but harm none. If we kind of went with that, because that's very much like an open-ended thing. It's kind of saying like, do your reality, or kind of see your reality for what it is. Do not force that on someone else, and just be aware that someone else has their own reality. I don't know, it's an interesting concept. Do I believe like there's a matrix and like all that thing? Yeah, I mean, gnosis is actually the basis for the matrix conspiracy theory, but with Gnosticism, it does take from alchemy, and alchemy is all about symbology. And I'm trying not to get too woo-woo and things, but it's just to explain it all. So alchemy is all about symbology. It's nothing like set in stone. It's all metaphorical, and it's not supposed to be taken literal. It's all to do with the mind, if anything, and how we can transform our thoughts into actions. That's kind of the core premise of alchemy and hermeticism. Yeah, gnosis takes from that. It's all about transforming the inner, so your mindset and how you view the world, your perception. If anything, that's kind of the basic premise of all those law of attraction manifestation people out there, where they say, you know, change your thoughts and change your reality. It's very much that thing that you're changing your perception. It's changing your thoughts to align with your reality. It just really clicks and makes sense to me that we're all in our own realities, interacting on and in a bigger reality. Yeah. Give me your thoughts on what you think reality is. Do you think reality is like a shared thing, or do you think it's an individual, or do you think it's both? Yeah, happy Sunday. I really like Sundays for like self-reflection and things. I think it's fantastic, and it goes back to that kind of taking time for yourself, because your time and energy is so precious, and because we engage in a shared reality more than an individual reality, maybe that's where the balance needs to be restored. We need to kind of balance the two and be aware of the two as well. So our actions do affect the shared reality, and shared reality affects our actions and feelings and thoughts. And so yeah, that is it for that video. Yeah, do subscribe, guys, girls, non-bines. Next video will be about how to spot a scam. So not as grand, I guess, but definitely a practical one. Stay awesome, stay classy, be kind, and bye. Where am I looking? There. Go off on. I'm still slightly bummed up. term, in simple terms. Not necessarily, you know, you're changing your mental thoughts, yeah, without getting too Mad Hatterish. I don't know. That's it. That's it, I think.